My name is Padraig Harte. I am the fundraising coordinator with PIPS Hope and Support. So PIPS Hope and Support is the public initiative for the prevention of suicide and self-harm, and our office is based in the Own House in Lurgan. Well, PIPS Hope and Support initially started as PIPS Neary back in 2003, and that was based in the Neary area. We then become even bigger, but due to the need of the bereaved families in that area, and we became PIPS Neary and Mourn. And then a number of years back, we became PIPS Hope and Support. So we would have worked alongside on different initiatives and supported each other with the PIPS Aberban. So PIPS Aberban folded on the 7th of July 2021, and the management board at that time asked PIPS Hope and Support would we take our services into the Lurgan area and pick up from where the group were voting basically. So on the 8th of July we took over, and we've been providing the service in the Lurgan area for that time. At the minute, any clients coming in from the Lurgan area are mostly being seen remotely. There is that option there for face-to-face if so needs be, and we're in providing bereavement support to families who have been bereaved by suicide through a number of initiatives. Just there this morning we had a group called Cup and Compassion, which was a coffee morning from families from the Lurgan and surrounding areas who have been bereaved. And we also have a new support group in the evening times for those who aren't able to get to the morning one, and that will be on the first Thursday of every month, commencing the 3rd of March from 7 to 9 o'clock here in Own House. So one of the main first fundraising events for us in the Lurgan area is going to be Darkness in the Light. So Darkness in the Light is an annual walk where people from all backgrounds and all sorts of lives gather as one in a group, and we walk from darkness into light. So it commences usually at around 4:15 in the morning, and you walk obviously till it gets bright, and that's for the prevention and support of suicide prevention, I should say. So this year it would have been done a number of years ago before COVID hit, and PIPS Aberban would have delivered it in the Lurgan Park area. We're delighted now with these no restrictions and that the PIPS Hope and Support with Pieta House are going to be bringing it back to the Lurgan Park. We've been liaising with ABC Council at the minute, obviously just going through the whole protocols and procedures to get permission to use that. So it's going to be on the 7th of May. We're going to be gathering at before 4:15 and setting off on the walk at 4:15 and walking around a route in the park. It's usually anything up to about 6k. Now any abilities can do it. There's nothing to say you actually have to do the 6k. It's whatever people feel comfortable with. There will be a registration link available. It's not open just yet. It will be opened at the end of February, and there's obviously early bird prices and that. So the monies that comes in through the registrations goes 50% to Pieta House and 50% to the PIPS Hope and Support. So any money raised through that will go directly into our services here. That will allow us to provide immediate therapy to anybody with suicidal thoughts, high levels of anxiety, poor mental health, or bereaved by suicide in the Lurgan, Portadown and greater areas. It's an opportunity for people to come together and support. It gives you a lovely feeling. Sometimes it's indescribable. As a worker for PIPS Hope and Support, it grinds me on a yearly basis to say this is why I do what I do. When you see a community coming together, it gives you kind of like the hair standing on your arm moment. It's just a lovely atmosphere. You see people comforting each other, you see laughter, you see smiles, you see tears, and you just see a brightness of yellow across the whole place and giving people that real sense of hope. So we would encourage everybody from the Lurgan, Portadown and greater areas to come on board and come out on the morning and support the initiative and get involved in any way that they can. Like most charities, PIPS Hope and Support remains very, very much in need of public support. So a lot of our fundraising comes through the community. Since our formation as PIPS all them years ago, the community response has always been excellent, and I do believe that the community support to PIPS Aberban has always been excellent. We've seen that carried over, and now that we've moved into the area, that support has now moved with PIPS Aberban into PIPS Hope and Support. And for that we are very grateful to the community so far. So fundraising is a massive part of what we do. We wouldn't be able to provide the services that we're providing to the community if we didn't have that community support or business support in the form of donations or running events for us. As I said before, that money goes directly into our crisis counselling services that provides the session counsellors to come in and provide that crisis support to somebody who is in need of what we do. It also allows for our bereavement support workers to provide direct support to families who've been bereaved by suicide, whether they go into the home and provide personal support, or whether they do it from the office based. A lot of what we do is fundraising based, and again, that's so we can continue to provide the service that we provide. As I said before, we've always had great support from the community, and we are really hopeful that the Lurgan, Portadown greater areas are going to continue that support as we start to develop our services even further and even bigger in the area. Our bereavement support groups, they're only being really introduced in the Lurgan area. We've been doing them in Newry from 2003, and that's how PIPS started. It is our bread and butter of what we do, and that's why PIPS was developed that all them years ago, was because there was a gap there for families who've been bereaved and there was nowhere for them to go to get support. So that's always going to be our core base is in supporting them families. So what happens at the bereavement support groups is families who have been bereaved come along when they feel right, when they feel ready to, and they will be in a safe and secure and private place with other families or individuals who have lost their loved ones to suicide. And it's an opportunity for them to reflect. It's an opportunity to discuss with other families who maybe 30 years ago might have lost a loved one and have come through that whole process. And it's given them the opportunity to maybe ask them some of the questions, how they were supported and how they got through it and that. It's also an opportunity for them to have a cry if they need to cry, to have a laugh if they need to laugh, but to go through that whole process together. Those family members from over the years have been basically beside us at all stages, helping us provide that support at these support groups. So you could class them as volunteers who are coming in and helping and discussing different things with the families who it might be relatively new with. And just there, as I said, this morning we had one, and even for me as the fundraising coordinator to sit and witness that, and to see a new family coming in and getting support from somebody all them years ago is just very heartwarming to see, and it gives the families who are recent to a bereavement kind of that comfort that they need through these very sad times.